want to do his resume justice, so I'm going to look at a few notes and tell you a little bit about him because he's done so much. But Dr. Phil Sleds, he is the founder of the Fundamental Health Solutions located in Austin, Texas. As he is called by his patients, he integrates this as a key component in his business practice. So he's a board certified chiropractor. But what he's also done in his life is he's a retired major in the United States Marines, an F-18 pilot, and he's currently still a pilot, a captain with Southwest Airlines. I hope one day I jump on that Southwest plane and you're there, Dr. Phil, for sure. And he's been, prior to Modere, he was one of the pioneers of one of the products we'll talk about today, Biocell, that came from Jusuru before merging. So he knows this product inside and out and so well. So I'm so excited for you guys to learn and hear from him, my dear friend, Dr. Phil.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lori. That was really humbling here. And it's always an honor to be here, you guys, and share this exciting ingredient and some of the products that we have. I'm really excited to be here with my friends, Margie and Lori and Stephanie and Brad. And I'm more excited too, to be meeting all these new friends here that we have in India. I've seen some great presentations so far. Gunjan did a great job going over our products Monday, and what can we say? We have so much to offer and help people. And one of the things that was really important that I know that the people that I meet in this company, that's so important to our mission. This is the really, it's like this company has taken the oath of being a doctor in a way. And it's something that just hit me really a couple of weeks ago. And really every doctor, it takes an oath, the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm. First do no harm. And that is exactly the mission of this company. We can't help people if we're putting something in the body that is in turn going to do nothing, but certainly not if it's going to harm you. You can't get one, if your product or service gives someone one step forward, but you're going to take 2 or 3 steps back, so you might get that quick effect. To me, that's harming the body, and we don't want to do that. So we really love this mission and everything that the company stands for. And like Lori said very powerfully about the values of this company that really cohese it and give it the synergy and power to keep coming up with new and exciting and innovative ideas. This isn't the only one. There are going to be more to come because, again, of this thing we call our collective genius, where everyone chips in and gives their best to this community. So again, thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Dr. Phil Sleds. I love meeting all of you, new friends. I have a functional medicine practice here in Austin, Texas right now, and I do still a little bit of flying on the side to stay busy with that. And I'm here to talk to you about our collagen ingredient primarily, and then I'd just like to touch on a couple things with 2 of our products. Our big products are liquid collagen, so I'll talk about what we have in India, our pure, and then our trim or shape, however that's called on the website there. So I want to go into that. And really for me, if I see a product, if I see something that someone brings into my office that, hey, would you look at this? Check this out. What I want to know right away is, how is this different than every other thing in that category? Okay. I want to know how this is unique. How is this going to stand out? What does this do differently than every other thing, whether that's an enzyme or a multivitamin or a probiotic or our collagen? Okay, I want to know what makes it unique. So what I want to do is share some insight about this ingredient. And the most important thing, I want you to just put this up on a shelf. You do not have to be a doctor or a scientist to share this with confidence and knowledge. You don't. So if that was a pressure, like, oh, I got to talk real scientifically to be successful in this and share this, don't buy it. You do not have to. And I'm going to keep things very simple as I can, because I'm a Marine. I have to keep things very simply in order to understand them. And that's how I like things being explained to me. But hopefully what I want to do is I really want to increase your confidence and your understanding about how unique of an ingredient this is. And so I want to tell you just a little bit of a story. And the story is what's going on in the health, beauty, and cosmetic industry today. And what's going on is we're seeing almost ubiquitously everywhere. We're seeing these collagen and hyaluronic acid and anti-aging products pop up everywhere. Okay, why? Well, because we are familiar with that term collagen. We are familiar with the term hyaluronic acid. However, there's something really big here. There's a dirty little secret. It's actually a big secret, but there's a dirty little secret going on in the health, beauty, and cosmetic industry. And what is that? That they're not telling you. That collagen and hyaluronic acid have to be incredibly modified in order to be absorbed if you take it orally or use it topically on your skin in order to penetrate and get to where it's supposed to go. That is the big dirty secret. So let me say that again, that collagen and hyaluronic acid have to be modified. And it is not easy. It has to be modified, stabilized in order for it to reach those target tissues, your hair, your skin, your joints, your nails, your gums, the tearing part, the moisture part of your eye has to be modified if it's going to reach those things. Otherwise, we end up sending it out through the bowel. And the reason that the industry is not telling that to you is because they already know that you're buying it. Most people are buying it because when they hear that term, they think collagen, and we go, oh, doctors use collagen, doctors use it in their office, they give it in injections. So the same with hyaluronic acid. So I should take this and I'll get a benefit. It's not the case. It's not the case. It has to be changed. It has to be modified. So once we understand that, then we can understand how unique this ingredient is because it did those things. It achieved those things because this company told the truth. When they created this ingredient, they didn't just rush out there and say, oh, collagen and hyaluronic acid. And oh, by the way, this ingredient did kick off the entire collagen boom that we see today in the world. They kicked off this trend because they told the truth that this molecule here has to be shrunk and stabilized if we're going to get any effect from it. And that's what they did. So knowing that, we can benefit from collagen and hyaluronic acid. And because they created something so effective, and it's got 7 patents on it, there's no other collagen, maybe one other I found that has some patents, and it's for a unique amino acid sequence, but it's not for the things that really matter most, which are its composition, what it's made of, meaning it has the right ingredients in there that really match us, because we want to take something that really matches what we have inside us. So our body goes, oh, I recognize that. I'm going to take that and I can put it in my hair and my skin and my nails. So composition, bioavailability, it's just a word that means absorption. Can your body use it? Because we have a saying in nutrition, it's not necessarily what you take, although it is, not necessarily what you take, but what you absorb that matters most. If you don't absorb it, it goes out through the bowel or we just excrete it. So that's what we don't want with that. So composition, bioavailability, and then it's low molecular weight. I'm forgetting the third one there, but the 7 patents protect that. And it makes it unique. And it makes it so unique that what happened when they discovered this is that Pepsi, everyone's heard of Pepsi, Pepsi Corporation, one of the biggest corporations on the planet. Well, they put a $300 million bid to buy this ingredient outright. When it first came out, when it was first created, that was a big deal because they wanted to use it in functional beverages. And then 2 pharmaceutical companies, they wanted to take it and they put bids on it because they were going to make it into a drug. And thank goodness it didn't happen that way. Thank goodness, because who knows what those companies would have done with it and whether or not it would have been within reach of so many people that we've been able to help, because we have thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonials. Literally, we had a website of it that we had to take down because we had so many testimonials about all the benefits from this ingredient. So it's been really impactful in helping so many people with their aging woes, with their aging skin and their aging joints. So let's talk for a minute about what happens as we age. Let's talk about that for a second. See, as we age, we're really building up our collagen. We'll talk about collagen and hyaluronic acid, but collagen in our body, we're really building that up until about the ages of 25 to 27. 25 to 27, and then some enzymes, the enzymes, they're always there, but they kick in and they start working harder to break it down. So we start having a net loss after that age, 25 to 27. Hyaluronic acid, on the other hand, we actually start experiencing net loss right from birth. And these are critical substances. They're actually the 2 most abundant substances in the body, collagen and hyaluronic acid, and they virtually go hand in hand. meaning if you had looked at like a wall with bricks, you could imagine the bricks are like collagen fibers, and then the mortar between the bricks would be hyaluronic acid. Everything in your body is made of collagen and hyaluronic acid, and you have to have both, and they are virtually equally as abundant in the body. Okay. So what happens is, as we're aging, we're losing collagen, we're losing hyaluronic acid. So it only makes sense to put this back into our body, provided it's in an absorbable form. And remember, I went back to that dirty little secret that they're not telling you, that collagen and HA have to be modified. It has to be shrunk by a factor of about 150 to 200 times. And that's not easy. It is not easy to do. And that's not what they're not telling you. We have that. We've achieved that with both of these ingredients. And those aren't numbers that are arbitrary or made up. These are actually measurable numbers based on common collagen sold on the shelf today and what we have with our size. And again, the size is so important because the size determines the absorption in the body. So if we're losing these, we want to replace them, put them back into our body in absorbable form, basically, in a nutshell. So the aging story goes a little bit like this. As we age, we are essentially, two things are kind of happening. We're rusting and we're dehydrating. We're rusting and dehydrating. So rusting, kind of like a nail, yeah, sort of like that. Sort of like it's something called oxidative stress, where things break down. They get stiff, brown, and hard. And an example of that is if you have an avocado, okay, you cut open an avocado, what happens? It starts to turn brown, right? If you have an apple, you cut open an apple, excuse me about that. We're exposing it to oxygen, and some things start to break down in the body. Excuse me. One more time there. And so what happens is things in the body get stiff, brown, and hard. So the same way as we use oxygen, which we need, which is good for us, but there is a side effect from that. So we're kind of rusting. And so in order to counter that, we need antioxidants. So it's important to eat a healthy diet, get a lot of plant-rich foods in the body, get antioxidants and vitamins. And I believe we need to supplement. Folks, we just live in a world today where I don't think we can do it with diet alone. That's just my opinion. So we need to supplement in order to enhance our diet. The other thing that's happening as we age is we are dehydrating. We're dehydrating. So essentially we're losing water. But it may not be that we're not always drinking enough, which we should drink enough water. We've all been told, hey, we need to drink water. It's good for us. But we're losing a critical substance called hyaluronic acid, or HA for short. Because HA, like Gunjan talked about Monday, holds up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. So again, HA, a critical molecule in the body, which is, again, equally as abundant as collagen, holds up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. And it pulls water, it holds water in all these critical areas. In the dermis layer of the skin, it hydrates, and it firms, fills, plumps. Okay, we want that in our skin. So firms, fills, hydrates, and plumps. That's what HA does in the skin. It lubricates. It holds water throughout our entire digestive tract, okay, through the entire gut tube. It holds it into critical organs. In our joints, it makes up a critical substance we call synovial fluid. So, and all it is, that's a fluid that actually heals and repairs our cartilage. And it's an essential component of that. So we can actually repair the cartilage, because we hear these terms like degeneration, and that's basically breakdown in the body. HA is a critical molecule for helping the cartilage repair itself and heal itself and sustain itself and strengthen itself. So that's how it plays a crucial role in that area of our body. So there's so many unique things that these substances can do, and it's good to understand it, but it's as important to understand that we have to have it in a form we can absorb. And the form of hyaluronic acid that we have is called low molecular weight. You don't have to know that term. You just have to know basically that that term is patented and it's protected by the 7 patents. No one can duplicate what we have here. That's what the 7 patents mean. And it's something that I think we can gloss over. The patents, I'm not going to go into the details, but it is so hard to get a patent. I tried to get a trademark for something, a logo for my business, and I had to go here in the United States back and forth and back and forth. You have to submit tons and tons and tons of proof. It's a tedious process. A patent is way, way above getting a trademark. You have to submit even more proof to show that what you have is very unique, and we have seven of those, going back to the power of this molecule. All right. So let's talk about this a little bit here. let's talk about the collagen in our body just for a second. Like, how does this break down? What do we need to know? Because again, I talked about this and I'm talking with some of my friends in India about collagen products. We're seeing them pop up all over. What are the most important collagen types that we need? Because we're seeing in these products today here in the United States, we're seeing collagen products pop up with type 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. They're adding all this stuff in. And it's like, well, you know what? The consumer that we are, we're kind of wired for more is better. So if we hear more collagen types, we think, oh, that's got to be a better product. I'm going to buy that one. That is not necessarily the case. Okay. When it comes to getting collagen in our body, there are basically certain things that we want to consider that are most important. Mainly the main three types, the three most important types that we want to get into our body tissues are types 1, 2, and 3. Okay, types 1, 2, and 3. Types 1, 2, and 3 collagen make up about 90% of your body's collagen. So 90%, 90. We want the 90% solution because with our ingredients, because we have all these trials, these 37 clinical trials, we can say proven. So a lot of things I'm going to talk to you about today with this are proven. We can say proven, and that is a big deal in the United States because when you throw that word in, proven, you become subject to a much higher level of scrutiny. And if you don't have the proof, they will shut you down. They will shut you down. And we have these things proven. So types 1, 2, and 3 collagen, it's proven to elevate all three of these. How does that break down in your body? Types 1 and 3 primarily for your hair, skin, and nails, okay? And type 2 for your joints and connective tissue. And sometimes people say, well, what's connective tissue? That's your tendons, your ligaments, your discs, your fascia. Your fascia is everywhere, makes up your entire body. We actually have something that can address that. So we elevate those three main types of collagen, which is super important. Now, when you see these other products, type 4, type 8, type 9, type 10, that's only about 10% of your body's collagen. We're going to keep discovering more collagen in the body, folks. We're up to, I think, type 26 or 28. You know what? That's still only going to fall into this little pie. If I'm making a pie chart here with my hands, 10%, it's only going to fall into that. Every type that we discover beyond the 1, 2, and 3. So we want to make sure we're elevating those types 1, 2, and 3 in the body. And we have something that's proven to do that right here with this. Okay. Hyaluronic acid. We talked about how we start losing that immediately from birth. So we have a very unique claim with hyaluronic acid that we can make in that this ingredient is proven to elevate your hyaluronic acid levels 6,000% after 28 days. 6,000%. That is huge, you guys. On the high end, it was actually 9,000%. Can you believe that? 9,000 or 90-fold, 9,000, but we report the lower end, 6,000%. Let me tell you how important this is to know this, because there is not a medical procedure. There's not a medical therapy. There's no drug. There's no cosmetic therapy or procedure that can do this and say proven to do this in the world. I still check. There is nothing that can say this claim. You can't inject it into the body. There's these different products, Synvisc, Orthodisc, things they use for joints for hyaluronic acid. You know, I do a lot of work with joint health too, and they won't migrate. They won't elevate the body's hyaluronic acid. And it's changed, it's modified, so it stays locally. The same thing with fillers. Those things are modified, okay? And when we see these other types of hyaluronic acid on the market, these are all what we call these high molecular weight. That just means they're big. It really means they're too big to absorb. And I talk to friends who try other different types of hyaluronic acid products, and they say, oh, I really like this other one. I really have tried this. And I say, are you feeling a benefit? What type of benefit are you feeling? And oftentimes what they come back with, it's really the effects of the other ingredients in the product. But again, the hyaluronic acid itself, the collagen itself has to be shrunk, has to be made much smaller if it's going to penetrate that outer epidermis layer and get to that dermis layer where we really need it most. So if we don't have that, if it hasn't been shrunk, then basically that HA, it's nice to look on the label. It's a selling point. It's going to entice someone maybe to buy it because they're hearing the word collagen or HA, but you're not getting the effect. You're not getting the effect. And we want to have integrity with everything we do. And that's what we have here with this. So very important about hyaluronic acid. Pulls that water in, keeps hydrating us, fights the enzyme that's aging us. Okay, we talked about how enzymes are breaking down. Now, there's good enzymes. I don't want you to have this bad idea about enzymes in the body. Enzymes are critical for every single thing in our body. We need them. So these collagenase enzymes break down our collagen around 25, 27. We start losing collagen. Hyaluronidase, these other enzymes, hyaluronidases, we call them, they break down HA immediately from birth. Okay. Here's something very important too, is that this form of hyaluronic acid is the ideal size where it inhibits, okay, it stops, it inhibits, it minimizes the effect of the enzyme that's aging us, the enzyme group that we're aging, because it fits inside the enzyme and it stops it from gobbling up our HA. And I'll just do a quick little analogy. Okay, again, I'm a Marine, I'm going to keep this simple on enzymes. Okay, enzymes work with a lock and key type of function. Okay, my hand here, this is the lock, this is the key. Okay, and in order to activate or inhibit an enzyme, the key has to fit inside the lock. Okay, the lock is the enzyme. If the key doesn't fit, then the enzyme still, nothing happens. The enzyme does what it's doing. Okay, so we have the right size key, hyaluronidase of the, or hyaluronic acid, HA, that fits inside the enzyme gobbling it up that blocks it. So this is how we get this compounded effect. Okay, one is that we have it in the right form so our body can absorb it. Okay, so we elevate it that way. That's one way it gets elevated. And the other way it gets elevated is it fits inside and inhibits the enzyme trying to gobble it up. So it can't go up and gobble up all our HA throughout our body. It slows that process down, and it is proven to do that. So we can say proven. Again, proven to elevate the main 3 types of collagen, 1, 2, and 3, proven to inhibit the enzyme that is causing your aging experience. So doesn't it make sense to stay on something every single day that will slow and delay the aging process? I believe so. And again, I'm going to use this analogy. People say, well, again, we have a problem here. We are kind of wired as this, we call it a fast food society in America. Okay. And I culturally, I'm learning other cultures. I think when I've traveled, I see how most of the world operates at a little bit of a slower pace, which I think is good. It's healthier than the United States, but we are very fast. We are all kind of wired for, I got to see things fast. Okay. I talk to some of my friends in India and they say, I like to see things happen quickly. Okay. Hey, I would too, but you don't age from 0 to 60 overnight. You don't age from 0 to 60 in a day or a week. Okay. It takes time, right? So naturally, it's going to take some time putting something in that's proven, that works to help slow, delay, and see some reversal and changes with our aging. Okay. So this is why we want to do it consistently. And this is why this is also very important. We recommend no less than taking this product as it's directed with 1 tablespoon of the collagen twice daily. That's the minimum. Okay. That's the minimum for 3 months. 3 months. So we can see and notice an effect. Now, can some people notice an effect in the first month, first few weeks? Sometimes, but I never really go out there and sell that. I never try to oversell an expectation with that. I want to be very honest, say, do this for 3 months. And if they have a lot of problems in their body, a lot of areas where they hurt and ache, okay, and they're stiff, I will push that out to 4 months and sometimes 5 months if they've had multiple surgeries, things like that. But we want to create at a minimum that window of time of 3 months where they're taking it consistently on a daily basis. Because remember, going back to what I said earlier, it takes 1 month just to elevate that hyaluronic acid level up that 6,000%. So we definitely want to get them past that and into month 2 and 3. So it's up at that level and we're starting to see the effects and feel the effects with the things, with our eye moisture, with our gums. Hey, yeah, take a photo. I recommend taking photos because we see ourselves every day in the mirror. It's hard to see those little nuances, those little changes, right? We don't see ourselves age, boom, from 0 to 50, 0 to 60, just in a week. Wow, that happened fast, right? It takes time. Okay. So we want to be consistent. We want to make sure we're taking it. And we want to, when we're telling people about it, we want to make sure that we're educating them on this, that how important it is to make sure that they stay on it consistently for 3 months to get that effect. Okay. All right. Cool. Is this helping so far? Is this good? Getting benefit from this? Awesome. Okay. Let's talk about, here's just a couple more questions that I get sometimes. Okay. We talked about hyaluronic acid. We talked about the aging. We talked about the 90-day trial here. Let's see. I got one more here. Okay. So maintaining our body, you know, when I hear effects or talk about different things that people do for that quick effect, going back to kind of what I was talking about last, we can be wired for fast results, you know. And one thing that I want to also say, and the analogy that I share with my patients, which is really important. Sometimes we can hear people say, is this something I have to stay on all my life? And I'm doing a little bit of a whiny voice here. And, you know, how many of us, I think we've all heard that when people are told something, is this something I have to do? Well, I would want to do it if it's helping my body, especially if it's proven to help my body. I would certainly want to do it. And I always share this, you know, if you have something that you know is proven to help you, and we have that, we can say that with confidence, then it only makes sense to do it every single day, right? You can't expect to have healthy teeth if you brush your teeth once and I'm done. I'm not going to brush. Hey, I did the brushing thing. I'm good. I'm good for the rest of my life till age 99. However, I don't need to do it again. No, that's not going to work. You're not going to have healthy teeth if you brush your teeth once and that's it. You're going to have tooth decay. Okay. You're going to have gum disease. You're going to have all those things. So you want to be doing things that are proven to help you every single day and be consistent. Okay. And we want to make sure we hit that 3-month window right away. All right. Here's some things I want to just throw in there about this ingredient to make sure that we're hitting on some of the important things. That, again, we are proven to say this. We are proven to reduce joint discomfort. That means all the hurts, all the aches, okay, and stiffness, so we can actually increase mobility. Hyaluronic acid, that important substance that repairs our joints, also gives us that mobility and flexibility, okay? So that's a critical extra wow that we get with this ingredient, is where we're supporting good joint health. We're decreasing the hurts, decreasing the aches, decreasing the ouches, all the ways like, oh man, I'm feeling that. Okay, we all have those moments, and we're proven to do that, proven to reduce the stiffness. We can say proven to reduce fine lines, creases, and wrinkles. Proven to reduce fine line, that's huge. Okay, if you look at all these other collagen products, they will say things, reduces the visible symptoms of or signs of aging, reduces all of these things, okay? But they won't say proven. The devil is in the details. I know I kind of hate that phrase, you know, it's just, but it is. It's kind of one of those things where these companies are very carefully trying to catch people in, these other companies, okay? Not talking about what we have here. They're very carefully trying to phrase the terms in order to get people to hook in and say, hey, well, this product will do that. But they don't say the things that it's proven to do. Proven, that's a big deal, okay? So proven to do those things. So we touched on the ingredient. And if there are any questions, you can be sure to put those in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer those. And right now, I just want to shift gears a little bit and just talk specifically here about 2 of the forms of the product that we can get, specifically in India. So we have our pure product here, which I really like. I take this. It's a 0-calorie way to ingest our proven collagen and yield all the benefits that we just talked about, okay? So we can have that. I think it's delicious. And again, going back to the things that we want to focus on, we want to make sure we're getting that collagen dose twice daily. I like to say about 12 hours apart, okay? And we're getting that 1 tablespoon twice daily. Again, so that way we're ingesting the collagen and hyaluronic acid in a way that we're outperforming those enzymes that we talked about earlier that are breaking down our collagen and HA in our body. So that's why that dose is so important, okay? And one of the things that, because I did talk a lot about the collagen, I just want to talk a little bit uniquely too about the trim or the shape product here. And we touched on some of those things. Gunjan did a great job again talking about these products on Monday. And we're going to talk a little bit about CLA, one of the other ingredients in this, and why that's so helpful, okay? So in the trim product, we have the collagen ingredient in there, okay? And this is for weight loss. So this supports a healthy, lean body mass, the trim product that we take into our body, because it has this healthy, good fat in there called CLA. It's a big mouthful of a word to say. We don't have to worry about saying it. We'll just say the letters. That makes it easier. And CLA, what it does is it goes in and it slows the absorption of fat in our body, okay? CLA slows the absorption of fat in our body. So basically I don't know if there's someone that might be unmuted there right now. If you can mute, feel quickly. But CLA, what it does, or the way that we actually put on fat, thank you, in our body is when fat becomes present in our blood. Okay, fat's blowing, fat is in the circulation of our body. Then it wants to go inside the fat cells, and when it goes inside the fat cells and starts filling the fat cells up, that's where we put on fat in the body. Okay, and so what CLA does is it interrupts that process. CLA interrupts the fat in the blood from reaching the fat cells and filling it up. Picture a balloon. Your fat cell is like a balloon. Okay. And unfortunately, kind of a little bit of a sick joke that I guess God plays on is, but if once we form these fat cells, once we create more fat cells, you can't really get rid of them unless surgically you have a procedure done or liposuction, something like that. But really, once we create those, they're there. So the only way to lose the fat in our body is to burn the fat. So we want to burn the fat, and we want to decrease the absorption of fat. So that's what this trim product does. It slows the absorption of fat into the fat cells, into these little balloons, okay? And by doing that, then we experience a leaner body and leaner muscle mass. And the other thing too, that's really important to note with the fat loss in our body is we want to talk a little bit about muscle. Muscle is considered by some doctors now to be one of the largest organs in the body. We talk about skin being a large organ in the body. Some schools of thought are saying now muscle is an organ in the body, and muscle is responsible for burning our fat in our body. So it's the basic way that we're going to get rid of most of our fat. So let's talk about the CLA, what it does uniquely. Okay. So what it does is it increases the breakdown of fat in our body. Okay. And people ask how does this increase lean muscle mass? So when people take this product, which is a fat product, okay, they're getting more muscle mass. They're actually increasing the muscle mass in their body. Well, how is that? Because the CLA acts uniquely as a fuel for muscles, okay? And if muscle is one of the biggest, it's the biggest fat burning organ in our body, and we have something that's uniquely as a fuel, that's how we get this benefit and these effects with fat breakdown in our body. So we're feeding the muscle cells, which are going to in turn use fat as a fuel. So that's good, okay? And the other thing is that the CLA itself is slowing the absorption of fat into these fat cells. And so we send more out through the bowel, or we burn it as calories, which is what we want, okay? So it prevents the filling of fat cells. It increases our energy expenditure. So we're actually burning more fat. We want that, using it uniquely as a fuel. We're increasing that lean muscle mass in our body. And, a lot of times when people are looking to decrease their body fat, they will start to make dietary changes. And some of them will go into changes where they go really low calorie. Now, I think it's better to feed the body right and feed the body well, okay? Adjust your calories, eating better quality foods. That's where I go with mine. But if people are on a lower calorie diet, one of the things that this is proven to do is help reduce and mitigate the side effects of a low calorie diet, which is important. So if you have people trying to they're going to go out there and make those dietary changes and they want to lose extra weight. Things like irritability. These are things that were proven in the study. Okay, so I'm saying these: irritability, infection, skin rash, hair loss. Sometimes these things can happen when people go on these lower calorie diets. The shakiness, the blood sugar, okay, when the blood sugar levels go up and down. And then when we pair this with some of our other great products that we talked about, like the burn, we have things in there to help with blood sugar stabilization. We're telling the body, hey, look for more fat to burn as a fuel. That's what we're doing. We pair these systems up with these other products that can be extremely impactful and beneficial to help ourselves even more, okay? And the last thing I just want to mention on the trim product too, because when you take this is again, it's got the CLA in there, and it is a good fat. It's a good fat is what it is. It's an anti-inflammatory fat. That's important, that we're using to lower our weight, and we're using it as a muscle fuel. But when we're taking it, it is a fat nonetheless. Okay, so I just want to talk just a little bit about fat tolerance to kind of help you guys out so you understand this a little bit. Sometimes we have to tweak the dose on this product. This is one of the products that sometimes I have to adjust it. So it says take 1 tablespoon. You can take it in the morning. Sometimes people take it in the evening. Most of my clients like to take it in the morning. And you're adding this fat into the diet. In America, because of the way we eat, how people are kind of condition through the medical system. We have a lot of people over here that may not have a gallbladder. We have a lot of people that have had gallbladders taken out. And unfortunately, this is a critical organ with your liver that digests your fat. So when you take this product and you don't have a gallbladder, or you have gallbladder difficulty, sometimes you can get a little burp. Okay, you get burps, things like that. So what we do with that is we want to cut back on the dose. So I'm just giving some tips and pointers here. Sometimes we want to go to 1 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon every other day. Just see how that works. And sometimes we may have to spread it out if they don't have a gallbladder into many smaller doses throughout the day, because I really want them to have a good response or good effect from taking these products. And it doesn't always work that we can do one size fits all, because we're all just a little bit different. Maybe people are already eating a high fat diet, so adding this in kind of adds a little bit on there. So they have to kind of adjust some of the other fat products on there, because again, eating fat is a good way to lose fat. And we don't want to be afraid of eating fat. We want to be eating the right fats, because they're very neutral on our blood sugar. And it's really the blood sugar spikes that are creating the fat gain. They're causing us to put on more fat. So that's where we want to interrupt this. This is why protein, fats are so good in helping people lose fat in their body.